Good morning guys, Daniel here from Single Malt Jack. Welcome back to the channel. We're all about whiskey, beers and barbecues. So, why am I sitting here in front of standing here in front of the slow cooker? Well, I'm going to let you guys know how to make the easiest, simplest, slow cooked smoked beef ribs that you'll ever do. So, stay tuned guys. So what's the trick? Well, I've got the slow cooker going here, as you can see now. This is a 100% cheat recipe, okay? And disclaimer on there to those die-hard, hardcore smoker guys that like to cook it low and slow. I do apologise, 100% apologise, okay? But it's not my fault because I'm going to be out for most of the day, and I still wanted to have juicy, slow cooked, smoky beef ribs. Okay, so how are we going to do it? Well, I've done the biggest cheat recipe that you'll absolutely ever see. So I went to the butcher, I got 3 kilos of beef ribs. Okay, they were already prepared for me, cut up into little, I guess, rib-sized pieces. They were already marinated. Okay, so they'd already been sitting in marinade for minimum 24 hours. And these guys do a really, really nice barbecue and hickory sauce. So the hickory gives it that nice smoky flavour. And what I do is literally just throw them straight in the slow cooker. And, typically I'll have them in here for about 6 or 7 hours, okay, in the slow cooker. As soon as that's done, I'll then take them outside. I'll have the barbecue started later this afternoon when I get back home. And then I'll put them on the smoker to finish them off at a higher temperature, maybe about 180, 200 degrees with them uncovered, and that'll just crisp them up and give them that nice smoky flavour for the last hour or so of the cook. So there you have it. It's so super easy. Anyone can do it, and if you don't have a charcoal barbecue or a smoker, then that's totally fine as well. You can still do the same process. So put them straight in the slow cooker for 6-7 hours. They'll be nice, juicy and tender, and then put them in a tray. Put them in your normal barbecue if you've got a gas barbecue or a Weber or whatever the case might be. Any gas barbecue will work with the hood down. Get the temp up to about 180, 200 degrees and just finish them off for the last hour. And they're going to be absolutely delicious. So stay tuned guys. We'll see how these are going in about 7 or 8 hours. I've got to get out for the day with the family. So slow cook is going. This is a trouble hassle-free recipe. Cheers guys. Again guys, sitting here with my mate Aiden. Welcome. Hello. Mate.
I am a bit of a regular on this, I think.
Yeah, I think you have been the last few weeks. It's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm glad you're here. Aiden's popped in this afternoon to have a couple of beers, and we're sitting here by the barbecue. As I said this morning, we had my cheat recipe, rib recipe. Okay, so we've just finished it off. Now I'm hoping they're not too overdone. So I'm glad Aiden's here. We're going to taste test a couple. And while we do that, we're going to drink one of these Slipstream Tropical Pale Ales. So what do you reckon, mate? Are you keen?
Look, I'm keen, but I reckon I've worn the wrong clothing. It's not going to look good if I get this all over my hoodie, but that's why we're here, right?
Well, 100%, mate. 100%. So you weren't here for the start of the video because I filmed the start about 8 hours ago. But I guess just a bit of a recap. So, cheap recipe for ribs. I haven't even marinated these. These have come straight from the butcher, really? Marinated. Yep. So, local butcher at Paradise Point. Bit of a shout out for those guys. They're fantastic. So they've come marinated with like a barbecue hickory sauce. And what I've done, because we were out for most of the day, I've just put them straight in the slow cooker for about 6 to 7 hours, cooking on low. And then I've got the Kamado smoker barbecue started in the afternoon. So after 6 hours, the ribs are basically cooked. I've then put them on the charcoal barbecue and cranked the temperature up to about 200 degrees to finish them off. So they should be nice and crispy now. They are nice and brown and charcoal, and they should be nice and smoky. So they are going to be quite hot. Hoping they're still a little bit tender.
That's what I was giving it the squeeze test.
Yeah,
It's still
okay,
squeezing, so that's all right.
They are still squeezy. They are a little bit on sort of the more well done side, because we have been sitting here this afternoon drinking beer and talking about beer, and we had a few visitors over. So we did kind of forget about them a little bit, but I still think they're going to be quite good.
They'll get the job done. I think they look delicious. I will say they do look on the crispier side, but that's good. You bite through the crispy, you get to the juices on the inside. It's about balance, right?
Yeah, 100%. And what do you think about that beer, mate? I haven't had this one before.
Here we go.
It's the Slipstream Brewing Co. Tropical Pale Ale, 1.2 standard drinks in a can. Local brewery from Brisbane. I believe they're close to where you live.
As I just found out, but really nice. It's quite light, which is good.
Very light.
Definitely tropical.
And what I found out today, I've got the box with me here, but I'm just going to give these guys a bit of a shout out. Okay, so I think you can see that in the camera. But it's a local indie craft knockoff series. Okay, now these come in a box. Okay, it's essentially 16 cans available at, I don't know where else, but I bought this from BWS. So it's 16 craft beer cans, and I paid $39 for them.
Always good to see BWS or the big chains representing the craft beer co.
And I think it's just absolutely fantastic. For $39 to get 16 cans of craft beer is absolutely unheard of. I think they've done a cracking job. And essentially what they do is they give you 16 Australian craft beers to choose from.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's just a fantastic way of doing it, because usually you're going to pay somewhere between $20 and $25 just for a 4-pack.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
for $39 you've got, a full 16 pack.
Daniel did say before the only thing that he didn't like about it was that there's only one of each. So we'll have to buy two next time.
it depends, because I think the beers you don't like, having just one is good.
It's good, yeah.
But the beers you do like, you want to have more than one. But having said that, I think it sort of gives you a bit of a sample, because I reckon probably half the beers we've tried before, and I reckon the other half I haven't tried. Like I've heard of them, I've heard of the breweries, but I haven't tried them. And sometimes you're not going to buy a full 4-pack or a 6-pack, but if you get one of them in a mix 16 case, it's definitely, I think, the way to go.
Sometimes you might take a gamble and get 20 litres of it. We'll see.
As I did today. Yesterday, sorry.
I would argue that Stoneham Wood surely isn't craft beer anymore. That's incredibly popular. How are they going?
Definitely not. Definitely more on the well done side. But super tender, super juicy.
Really nice smoky flavour through it.
And a really nice smoky flavour.
That's a beautiful smoky flavour.
To be fair, I probably would have pulled them off about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
My fault.
Good for me.
But for a cheap, slow-cooked, smoked ribs recipe, I have put absolutely 0% effort into this today. Really, anyone can do this.
Yeah.
It's as I said this morning when I was preparing it, they were already marinated for 24 hours at the butcher. I literally grabbed them out of the bag, dumped them in the slow cooker, closed the lid, left them for 6 hours, turned the slow cooker off. I put them in a tray, put them on my smoker on my Kamado barbecue, and left them for another hour and a half. I said an hour this morning. I should only leave them for an hour, so my fault for overdoing it a little bit. But they're still quite tender and juicy. So just really, really good recipe. I know the die-hard smoker, slow cooking rib fans are going to grill me for this.
You're offending a few people.
But this is a really, easy recipe that absolutely anyone can do. And to be honest, you don't even need to have a smoker charcoal barbecue. You could even just grab them off the slow cooker and put them on your gas barbecue. And that'll work just as well, I reckon. Crank the temperature up to about 200 degrees, and you just want them to crisp up a little bit, because slow cooker's good. It really gets them nice and juicy and tender. but they are a little bit mushy. Like you
Yeah,
want to then
definitely.
put them on the barbecue,
They need the
barbecue
edge.
to crisp them up a little bit. So
I'd be curious to know how much of the smoke flavour is coming from the marinade that they did versus from the barbecue.
well,
nice
this is quite smoky because I've
Yeah.
put a bit of apple and hardwood in there, and I got the smoke up and the lid closed, so it is quite smoky. But having said that, these guys do a barbecue hickory sauce, so you do get that sort of, I guess, bit of smokiness
Yeah,
out of the
definitely.
out of the hickory. So, you know, there you have it, guys. I mean, you know, that's our, I guess you'd probably call it the lazy man's slow cooked smoky ribs
Absolutely.
with
Lazy man.
the lazy man's craft beer selection.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think it's quite fitting. You know, I didn't have to go
Perfect
in
for a Sunday.
You know, I didn't have to go into the brewery and say and you know, pick and choose and pick all the best beers. I just got a selection of 16 craft beers, and you know, a bit hit and miss. but I think-
Pre-packaged for you.
Exactly. You know,
Ready to go.
and it makes anyone look like an absolute connoisseur. So I reckon
Yeah.
if I can fool my mates, I reckon you guys can as well. You know, we're nothing special here at Single Malt Jack. We're just everyday hacks on the beers, barbecue, and whiskey. So you know, there you have it, guys. If you liked it, leave us a few comments. If you got a few comments, and subscribe to the channel. And thanks again, Aidan, for coming on.
I would cheers you, but I've run
You're
out.
right.
But-
bit too eager.
I'll be back.
Um,
I'm sure.
But final words, guys. Stick around. We do have another episode coming up. Well, I've got Aidan with me, and it is the Backwards Distilling Co. first batch of single malt whiskey. Okay, it's just come out this month, so very limited release. I've got bottle number 400 and something, and I don't think they've bottled that many. I think it's only, you know, maybe 400 or 500. It was sold out in the first 12 hours.
Yep.
We do have a bottle here. I opened it last night just to have a bit of a check to make sure it's good.
Make sure it's all there.
It's got my
Of course.
tick of approval, but we're gonna have a bit of a sample, and we'll let you guys know what it's like. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys.
Let's do it. See you later.
Cheers, mate.